everyone. I'm Tanya Hoffman. I'm the CEO and founder of the Public Speakers Association, and I'm so excited to be here. We've got the fabulous Jim Pagamsas, who will be back with us in just a minute. I think Tim Gillette is going to be in just a minute. So today we're talking about changing the world from the front of the room. And oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things, even though I have to admit, when I first started speaking, I was totally freaked out about it. You know, the first time I spoke was in front of 5 lovely ladies who all loved me, and I was so scared. I was shaking and trembling and sweating, and I couldn't remember what to say. It was awful, but I got through it. And I'm here today speaking all across the world in front of any size crowd. You know, it doesn't bother me anymore. And a lot of people are like, how did you do it? And it's called doing it. And so what I wanted to give y'all today is connect you to some fabulous people that can give you some insights on speaking also. But it really is about getting your message out there. I meet people all over the world with incredible messages. Don't you, Jim? You know, it's exciting to see the variety of information that's out there, you know, to be able to connect with people and make something happen. And, you know, here I am, we're talking with, you know, Jim. I'm in Texas in the US, and Jim's in Ontario and Toronto area in Canada. And isn't it fun that we could all be on and enjoying things? And if you want to join us on the seat, just ask to join. There's Mr. Tim. And we'll accept him in. He'll be in just a second. And so we're all trying this new Blab thing out. Hey, hello, fabulous Tim. How are you?
I'm not trying it. I'm doing it.
Yay. All right. Did I say try? I don't ever try anything. I just do. And I think that makes the difference between people that are really successful at speaking and those that just try speaking. I see it from all the time. And probably you do, Tim, and everyone, Jim. You know, when we start looking at, I want to try being a speaker, I'm like, well, then don't do it. Yeah. Either do it or don't.
Yeah. I booked it. I actually, we've talked 3 times on phone this morning, and then between those 3 times, I booked myself on two stages.
Perfect. Right?
That's what we're about, baby. We're getting booked.
Exactly. There's a fabulous Miss Vanessa. How are you, Vanessa?
I'm great, Tanya. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
So Vanessa's you're down in Houston, aren't you?
I am very near Houston. I am on the east outer skirts of Houston, yes.
Perfect.
I need to be here.
It's a little hard to hear you.
Okay.
There you go.
Is that better?
A little bit.
I need to speak.
Yeah, the audio is a little light.
I'm definitely new to this. I'm just trying to figure this thing out.
Aren't we all? And that's what I love is doing these things. And I don't care if you're ready or not, you just do it. You know, when I found out, Tim told me about Blab the other day, and he's like, you have to be on it. I'm like, okay. And then, you know, we look at Periscope, same thing. It's like, just do it, you know. Even if it seems like it's something that you just don't know how it's going to react to you, just do it anyways. And so what I would love to do is get Tim's take on what he thinks, you know, changing the world from the front of the room means to him.
You know, for me, it's become, you know what I mean? I've always believed I was a life changer. And I didn't believe I was going to be a good speaker. And my story is 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago, Zig Ziglar and I sat across the table from one another after I got out of the car wash industry. And he said, Tim, you'd be a good speaker. And, you know, I didn't believe him. I had to figure that out. And it wasn't until 2010 when I started taking action on the idea and getting in front of stages. My first place that I spoke as a speaker was here in the Dallas area. It was Highland Park United Methodist Church. I spoke for a group there. And at the time I spoke at it was in 2006 or something like that. That was President George W. Bush's church that he had listed as his church. I spoke at the president's church while the sitting president was president. And I still didn't think I was a speaker. You know, the thing I learned was when we say changing the world from the front of the room, is when you're up there in front of that room, it's your message, and you're there to motivate them. You're there to change them. You're there to, I call it all the time, share, and then offer them to go to the next level. All right. And some people do keynotes, even if you're doing a keynote and not selling or speaking to sell like we do. You need to be offering them something, even as a keynote, to go, okay, your next step is go do. You know what I mean? And that's what I do no matter where I'm at. I'm always offering people the next step. When you go home today, I want you to do these 3 simple steps. You know what I mean? It's not always a say. But that's how you change the world from the front of the room.
I love it. And don't you find that when I look at speaking in general, there's nothing like, I talked about this on Periscope yesterday. I remember, because, you know, I've been really pushing myself into the world of speaking for, I think my first one in front of those 5 lovely ladies was about 2006. And so I've been, you know, getting out of my comfort zone. I never thought I would ever be a speaker. If you told me, you know, that I would be a speaker, I'm like, you've got to be joking, because I was so introverted. But I remember that point when I was a keynote for, it's like my first keynote, right? And there was about 100 lovely ladies. It was in Houston. It was like the African American Christian Women's something business conference. They had a very, very long title, and there was 2 young men there. And they were gorgeous. They were like 26, 27. Their outfits were amazing. I was like, oh, I wish my husband, you know, would, you know, wear stuff like that. And during my presentation on stage, I have a speech impediment. And when I get tired, and this was very late at night, sometimes it comes out and I jumble all my words together and people are like, what did she just say? So I apologized. I told them what happened and I went on. That mistake was one of the most life-changing moments for me, because I got off the stage and those 2 young men came over to me and one of them was bawling. I mean, just bukus of crying tears. And wow. I mean, I still get shivers from it. And the young man said, oh my gosh, Tanya, he said, I've always wanted to be a speaker. I have that same speech impediment. And I thought that I couldn't be a speaker because I had this issue. And now I know I can. And I changed that young man's life like, boom. And I'm like, I am totally into this speaking thing now. Have you had anything like that happen to you, Tim?
Yeah, I have. And sometimes what we don't realize is sometimes we find our path by taking action. You know what I mean? And that's a perfect example of that, Tanya. I've come off stages and like people come up to me and, you know, I can't afford your package, but I want a picture with you. I want to let you know that I'm going home and I'm going to do these 3 things because I know that I need to take action because of what you said today. And if I don't take action, I won't do anything with my business. And then I get an email the next day from them saying, I did it. I did my list. I finished my list. And I'm like, that is the most overjoyed emails I get. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, I might not have made a sale, all right, but I changed someone's life.
Yes.
You can't put a dollar value on that.
It's huge. Now let's hear from Ms. Vanessa. Vanessa, how about you? What do you find in, you know, your speaking? Have you had one of those moments?
Well, you know, Tanya, I'm listening to you and Tim, and I think what I'm hearing you say, I can definitely identify with, is that people in the audience, they don't know us like we know us. And I think they learn so much from our own pain, from our downfalls, from our pitfalls, just what you described. And when we can share that in an honest and sincere way, that is what becomes life transforming. And it took me a while to learn that, because I was always hesitant, thinking I needed to be the expert. I needed to know everything before I could even begin. But when I actually began and started sharing even the weaknesses, I think the weaknesses eventually became the strong points, because that is what people identify with. Yes. And that, I think, for a speaker is probably the most powerful thing that you can share, is that this is what happened to me. This is how I started. And even in our, you know, what you just described, how transforming that was for someone. So my biggest thing is now is just go out there, like you just said, and just do it. because
exactly.
we all have something to share. We don't have to wait until we think we have it all together. And that's what I'm learning now, still learning.
Perfect. And let's hear from Miss Shantae Taylor. Hey, Shantae. Oh, I can't hear you. Yep. Nope. All right, we'll go back to Shantae.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Loud and clear?
Yeah.
It's a little muted, but go ahead.
Muted. Okay. Well, I'll do my utmost. Yeah, so I'm a neuroscientist and a success coach, and I resonate with everything you all are saying. People don't know that they're already speakers, that they've already been in front of the room at some point or in front of an audience and have shared something and have moved people, even if they didn't get the feedback. People don't always give you feedback, but they still get something from you. I was a high school teacher and a biology professor at one point, and half the time I had to motivate the students or connect the information with the real world. And I still have students emailing me, telling me how, I changed their path in life. I moved them, I opened up their perceptions on what is possible, what they can be. So sometimes you think you're teaching one thing, and depending on the listener, they're getting a totally different thing. So, just showing up with what you know as your authentic self, and allow other people to get what they're going to get from you, because everybody has a different journey. Everybody is seeking a different lesson that they may or may not know about, but they're going to get something from you. And just one more thing, people don't know that this is an actual business. And actually, travel around the world and teach this message on a bigger platform. And once you realize that this is actually a viable business, it can get overwhelming. And that's why we have the lovely Tanya Hoffman to show us all the ins and outs of how to run it as an actual business, which is why, I'm so grateful to you and your teams for providing that information on how to make it into a viable business so that you can sustain the message. Because if you don't have the money, you cannot sustain your message and get your message out there in a big way to be able to change the world from the front of the room.
Love it. Thank you. Yeah, one of the things that I find, and it just hurts my heart, because I hear people who their expertise or their message, that something that's happened to them that they could help somebody else get through. I mean, there's so many varieties of what people speak about. But one of the things that just hurts me is when I find somebody that could be huge, or just could go out and change some lives, that are right there in front of them. They don't take the opportunity. They keep their fears from letting them go forward, and they don't learn to monetize, because that means that they're going to go back and get a job and not go out and change more lives. And this is such a lucrative business that you could be in. It's just a matter of learning how to make it that way, and then getting yourself out of the way and moving forward. So Tim, what have you seen in your kind of, since you've kind of been doing it about as long as I have you seen like this moments that you have of kind of clarity of kind of who you are and who you can show up to be?
Who you are and who you show up to be should be the same person. First of all, I'm going to tell you that. Whether you see me here, and I know you and I are recording a TV show today, my hair will be different by then. I just got out of the shower to jump on this.
And I'm going to be on your radio show, then you're coming on my TV show. We're going to have a whole Tim and Tanya day.
It's Tim and Tanya day, by the way. But I don't usually, on radio show day, I don't usually get up and take a shower till after my radio show. And I did it today because I'm going to be on her TV show, and it's like I've got to have the hair done and everything. But girls, because we're talking with girls here, okay, as a guy, all right, it's I have an image that I go with, and you got to have everything ready and done. I get it. But as a human being, not the looks, not the hair, the makeup, things like that. The human person of you better be the same when you get on that stage to when you get off. I know some speakers who on the stage are one thing, but when they get off, all right, And I got news for you. A lot of speakers are introverts, a lot of them. And they want to go hide. But when you get off that stage, your job now becomes a meet and greet. You're there to put hands out, take pictures, answer questions, all right? And in our style of speaking is, you know what I mean, I speak to sell in the back of the room. I'm there to answer questions, and those questions is what makes the sales, all right? And I have larger events. My contract says my microphone stays on. And I start answering questions, and they get put over the speaker system in the room. But if I switch the mode of who I am when I start doing that in the back of the room, I now show, okay, Tim's different. And then they meet me in a coffee shop at the airport 2 hours later. Oh, man, do I want to do business with this guy?
Yeah.
I'm the same on here. The same when Tanya and I actually sat in a cafe the other day. Same when I spoke at 2 events yesterday. I'm the same guy.
Yes.
You know, and that's it.
And I think that's what problem that a lot of people have is they try to be something different on stage. It's like they put on a character, and then they wonder why it doesn't translate and they don't ever really move forward quickly. You know, when I show up, people say a couple of different things. They're like, oh my gosh, you look like your picture, which I always think it's funny. I'm like, I hope I do. It's the picture of me.
I hope I do, yeah.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, you're just as nice as you are on the phone, or you're just as nice as, you know, when I saw you on stage at so-and-so's. You know, there's that reality that this is who I really am, and not trying to be, you know, someone that I'm just not, you know.
Yeah, that is what's been filling my mentorship programs, my mastermind, is the fact that I'm me, no matter where I go. And I get on this in a matter of minutes. I mean, I explained this to you. Was it last Thursday we met? I can't remember the days. My days have confused right now.
Don't ask me.
I know. I was like, but, you know, it was Friday a week ago, or a little more than a week ago, like a week and a half ago. I think I've been on 11 days, 12 days. I've been on, I think I was telling you, I was shooting a goal to be on 100 of these as a guest. I'm at like 49 right now in 11 days. And the reason I am on and taken up so well is because, all right, and some of this training, and I do some work with Tanya, all right, is the idea that when I show up, I'm me and I'm authentic. That actually put a partnership together. I was hoping he was going to be able to be in the room, but he's on a call. He just texted me he's on a call. He can't be in here. But he's going to be on my show tonight, and a lot of people who know me, who's popped into the room, know who it is. He's a social media person who's got a huge following, and we're going to talk about partnerships. So it's like, you know, that partnerships, because I'm authentic, this guy here, it's big dollars to get to do business with him. Him and I are talking partnerships already. Yeah. 11 days.
Well, because realistically, you are the epitome of people that when we connected, we're like, there was just this gelling that happens. You know, when Shantae and Vanessa and I connect, is this gelling. And I think it's important to put yourself around people that you just fit with. How about you, Miss Shantae? What do you think about, you know, being authentic and all of that?
That's my best place to operate from. Let me get closer. You know, when we pretend to be someone else or who society wants us to be, it actually takes up more energy to maintain that. You know, and as soon as I started letting go of what society wants me to be, parents, you know, I was once going into neuropsychology where, you know, you're on a certain track, you had to learn certain things, take certain licenses, you know, and follow, you know, the lineup, right? But I felt that it wasn't me. It wasn't me to assess people with dementia 8 to 10 hours a day, even though I love the brain, you know? So once I stepped into my authenticity, I said, I can still teach people about how to use their brain better. And that's more empowering for me. And I see my energy pick up. And I started operating from that place. And I just think that when we're operating from that authenticity, we will get more guys and have more clarity on our path. because you don't get clarity if you're on somebody else's path. So for me, it worked out really well, and I'm seeing it in the lives of my clients and students that, once they say, I don't really care what, other people think about my own journey, you get clarity and you focus up. And like Tim said, the more you start taking action along your path of authenticity, the more you start getting clarity on what you're supposed to do, and the next step is revealed, and the next step is revealed, and then you get feedback, and people can feel you, just like you were talking about, Tanya, surrounding yourself with the right energy. People read you before your words come out. People read you as soon as you step on the stage before you say a single word. They read your energy, respond to that, and that's the tone for the rest of your talk. So energy is real, it's exchanged, and the more real we are, people can feel that, and the more they learn from us.
Yeah, I love it. And, one of the things for everyone listening too is, to realize that, like Tim was saying, it's about building incredible relationships. And it doesn't have to take forever to build a relationship. It could be very quick. You just have to reach out and connect with people, which is what most people don't do. I was playing around on Blab, yesterday, trying to get ready. I was like, let's see what everyone else is doing. And there was a fabulous lady that was doing her thing, and she had been doing a lot of them because she had it really down pat. She was interviewing a guy, and I loved it, and I loved her personality. So I just went and followed her on Twitter, messaged her on Twitter, and said, hey, loved your Blab show, would love to have you on mine. She goes, oh my gosh, I've been looking for someone to talk about speaking on my show. Let's have you come on my show. Now she has 30,000 followers on Twitter. Wow. Do you think that was a good connection? Hello. Oh, yeah. How about you, Ms. Vanessa? Do you find good connections? Do you reach out a lot to people and say, hey, I love you. Can we connect more?
Tanya, I'm learning from you. I have not always done that, and I'm actually learning. That's why I'm here, because I'm trying to grow myself as a speaker. So I'm very happy to hear what you are saying, and Tim and Shantae. I'd like to inject this one thing right here, because I want those listening to understand, and I see this so much in myself. And Tim, I'm going back to you, because you're so on point when you say about being your same self on stage as off stage. But one of the things that strike me odd about myself, and I'm sure it may be the same for you, is that I'm actually much more comfortable, even though I'm inherently an introvert. I feel more comfortable on stage. When there's hundreds of people in the audience, that's what I'm comfortable at. Now, when I'm off stage, I am most uncomfortable, but I still want to be my same self, because that's the only person I can be. And Shantae, thank you for sharing that part, because that's all I can be. I've spent many years, I tell people, just trying to be me, the best me I can be. So I have no desire to try to be someone else.
Right.
But in that vein, Tanya, back to your question is, relationships in this business, I think, and perhaps most businesses, I think are just critical. I mean, it's just how you move up the ladder. It's just who do you know, and how do you add value to other people? How do you help one another? It's not just about having the relationship, but what can I do for you? And that.
Well, that's why I think, one of the reasons I created the Public Speakers Association and Career Speaker Academy was that I kept finding, that people didn't know how to make money as a speaker and didn't know how to get booked. And so, I just sent out 7 speaking opportunities yesterday. Everyone should have gotten them. And by the way, everybody who's watching, these fabulous people are all members of the Public Speakers Association. And if you would like to bring any of them in, including myself, to speak on any of your events or your blab that you're doing, it's easy to find them. Just go to Public Speakers with an S, Association, all spelled out, .com. Under speaker search, you could put Shantae, you could put Tim, you could put Vanessa, obviously Tanya, and we all pop up with our little ad. So it makes it easy. All of our contact information, all of our social media links, everything's on there. So, one of the things that I found was, and maybe Tim can think back to when he started to do all of this, was that moment when I went and spoke at an event, and it was like a 3-day event, and I was one of the first speakers. And I had this like little, this probably didn't happen to you, Tim, but I had like this little vesty thing that I was wearing on stage. And I was telling people, you know, about how they should, you know, really own themselves and be fabulous. And the next day, I'm talking like 12 people came in with the same little vesty thing on. They went and bought one. And they're like, look, Tanya, I, you know, I'm ready to be a speaker. I look like you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you completely missed the buck on here. Has that happened to you, Tim?
A lot of people, I have a kind of rock and roll type look. And one of my coaches out of California is the rock star speaker. And he has cooler jackets than me. On the back of my chair is, so if I, for interviews, I keep my suit jacket, which is kind of a leathery look, but I'm always neat looking. And I come off stage and they go, I want to be a biker, or I want to be a rock star like you. And you know what I mean? I'd show you my jeans, but you know what I mean? I was dressed for, I was dressed for Blab today. You know what I mean? You don't have to dress from the waist down. I'm kidding. So,
whatever.
I said that on a Blab the other night, all right, and I did one of these numbers, and the whole room went.
I tell you, okay, this is for everybody listening. Wear pants when you're on these things, all right? I was on one with, because I do my Zoom events, and then we do networking collaborations on there, and we had about 25 people, and out of those 25, there was probably only 3 ladies. And one of them was coming in, and you could never see her. She didn't have her name there. The camera was, she was trying to work it, and you could never see anything, but all of a sudden it dropped. And she had nothing on. All right. I'm just saying, don't just wear a shirt. You got to put on pants, people.
I have jeans on.
Yay!
Hey, Tim,
you just never know when the cat's going to hit the, you know, the camera or whatever.
No, my cat turns the whole computer off.
Oh, Shantae has something. How about you, Shantae?
I was just gonna say, thank you so much for allowing me to join your Blab today. I'm gonna take off and do some things now. So take care, everyone.
Bye. The fabulous Miss Shantae. Awesome. So yeah, it's hilarious. So, but back to the you know, what I think you remember what I asked now. Can't even remember.
About relationships. We were talking about relationships.
We're probably, yeah, this is something we always talk about is relationships. So.
Oh, yeah.
Good go-to.
I mean, you know, that's one of the things I don't get is that you have to reach out and talk to people and build relationships, and why people don't do that. I mean, even when I get on stage, tell the audience, come over and talk to me, you know, let's connect, you know, let's not just take my business card and never call. And very few people do. And those people who do are the ones that are doing very successful in their businesses, that are successful in life, you know, because they're doing something. They're actually connecting to people.
Yeah.
You know, Tanya, I presume.
So perfect. All righty. Well, I just wanted to kind of give people an insight to changing the world from the front of the room. It's one of my favorite things. It's our motto for the Public Speakers Association. When I created it back in January of 2013, I had no idea that it would just explode across the U.S. and Canada. And I'm really excited because we're going over to Asia this next year and doing something in Hong Kong and Singapore, and then be able to bring, you know, my members over with me and get people connected worldwide. Because I find that, and Tim, you probably find this too, is that so many people stay very local. And to me, I don't care where you go, you find people that are local with you. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody, you know, is connected. It's amazing how small this world is.
Very, very true. There's a lot of places I go and find out that within 2 people I'm connected, and it blows my mind that, you know what I mean, the connections I have. And Kevin Bacon game, what do they call that? The within 7 people you're related.
Yeah.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah.
But had I not got out of Dallas, Texas, I would have never found that out.
Exactly. I know people are like, oh my gosh, you drove up to Dallas to meet Tim and Scott Schilling. And I'm like, yeah, you know, you have to get out and you have to connect with people on such a huge level. And,
Well,
you know, I do it all the time.
How that happened, so you guys know, is originally I was supposed to go to Austin to speak the Friday before, and that fell through. And I was going to stay over till Saturday with another mutual friend of ours, Candy. And then I was going to come over and meet Tanya on Saturday. And my thing canceled, but I still sent a text to Tanya, said, hey, I'll come down and meet with you on Saturday. I was going to drive down there. And she said, no, I'm going to be in Dallas on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it was.
Right.
I'm like, all right, that works.
Exactly. You know, I'll fly places. You know, if you're going someplace, like I'm going to Portland this week. So if you're in Portland, I'd love to meet you. We're going to have a meet and greet. So, you know, I just reached out to Andrea and said, hey, I'm going to be there. Let's put together a little shindig. You know, if you're coming to Austin, let's put together a shindig. I've got quite a bit of connections here. So reach out to people in their cities, because usually their city they've got a very nice, you know, reach in that area. And so if you're going to be there, might as well, you know, capitalize on your opportunity. So I'm going to go to Tracy Repchek's event. If y'all don't know Tracy, she's amazing. She's having an event in Hollywood next week. And so definitely, if you get a chance, go ahead and come to that event. She's all about websites and traffic, and she's one of the leading experts in the world. So I'm speaking at that event. So you just find people and you just connect and you really care about them. And that's what makes this world go round. And I know you, Tim has a fantastic radio show. It's the Tim Gillette Show radio.
Tim Gillette Radio Show, yeah. And I put the thing down there because Tanya's going to be my guest here in about 20 minutes.
Yay! So we just back to back it.
Yeah. We will be together until about 1 o'clock this afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon, the two of us. So.
Exactly, because he's going to be on my my TV show. If you're looking for my TV show, it's Tanya Hoffman's, and that's with 1 F, 2 N's. Fabulous TV show. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on TanyaHoffman.com. You can find it at Public Speakers Association. And we're booking now for our airing in December and January. So if you would like to be on my TV show, reach out, say hello. We'd love to have you. Let's see what else is coming up. The Women's Summit, it's the Change Your World Women's Summit, is October 27th. Yes, 27th and 28th. And we're looking for presenters. So you do not have to be a woman. You could be a man, but it's Women's Month, so we're having a Women's Summit. And it's 25 minutes straight presentation. It's an all-day event, so back-to-back presentations all day live. And we also record them and post them afterwards. So you can go back and watch the other summits that are already up. And it's all on publicspeakersassociation.com under the Summits tab. It makes it easy. So if you'd like to be a presenter on that, just go under members page. There's a drop down that says schedule summit, and you just schedule yourself into that. So we'd love to have you in on that. We do one every single month. So we'll have one open to any subject in November. And then our December one is the Mindset Goal Setting Summit. So get ready for the new year. I can't believe the new year's coming already. 2016. Yeah. Amazing. I'm already booking into 2017. It's incredible.
I'm not that far ahead, but I'm booking dates through September of 2016. I'm booking stages already.
Yes. Reach out to us. We would love to be on your shows. We would love to be at your conferences. We love bringing great value. And Miss Vanessa too. Do you have anything else, Miss Vanessa, before we finish up here?
No, Tanya, thank you so much for allowing me to participate here today with Tim. Nice meeting you, Tim.
Nice meeting you, dear.
And, I look forward to many, many more sessions like this.
Yay!
I'm looking forward to seeing you in person, Vanessa. I got a big old hug for you. I'm a hugger.
Awesome. I'm a hugger.
I know. Who doesn't want a hug? I always worry about the people who don't. I'm like, okay, fine. Here, shake a hand.
So.
All righty, everybody. We thank you so much for joining me. This was my very first blab. Yay! And technical issues at the beginning, but we got through it. So, and thank you for Tim for helping me through that.
You're going to help me get through a TV interview today. So I've not done TV interviews. So This is the closest thing I've done to it. So
nice. We'll have fun. There's only, a couple of rules that I have. You have to have fun. Only nice people allowed, and no one can be perfect in my realm. So I think we all fit that, right, Vanessa?
mm-hmm.
And Tim and I know.
Got it.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Y'all go out. Have a great day. Enjoy. Have fun. Connect to somebody fabulous. Connect with Vanessa. Connect with Tim. Connect with me. We'd love to get you and find out who you are. All right. Bye, everybody.